Hey everybody, welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Rob Lacone and the miserable liberal Steph Zamorano. Hi.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hello.
So there's been a lot of people showing up at the rallies, and not at rallies, at the town halls. A lot of people upset with how their government's being run, and now they're out there getting it done. Donald Trump does not enjoy it. He doesn't think that, well, here's what he said about it. He said the so-called angry crowds in home districts of some Republicans are actually, in numerous cases, planned out by liberal activists. Sad. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. That they're also citizens, and when citizens get together, they organize, and then they go out to a thing. You know, just like when the Tea Party was going to town halls in 2009. They were also organized by conservatives. That's what happens. People get together, they organize. There's nothing wrong with that. He's like, oh my God, those citizens are getting together and then they're doing something civic. I don't get it. They're getting involved, but they're getting involved in groups, and that's not how you're supposed to do it.
Like-minded people are gathering together and exchanging ideas, and that's just weird.
Right. So here's what Dave Weigel, friend of the show, he was on with Christopher Hayes, the enemy of the people, and
Jimmy's favorite reporter.
And my favorite pretend reporter. Cops have a hard time, you guys. So that's the amount of Christopher Hayes analysis on our problems today. Cops have a hard time. So Dave Weigel, They asked him about what's going, because he's going to a lot of these town halls. Dave Weigel, he's out there he's reporting, so here is what he has to say about it. Are they being planned out by liberals? Are all these people showing up at town halls? Is this being planned out? Here's what Dave Weigel says.
Well, anything is planned. The president's rallies are planned. Actually, with our money, unlike a lot of the indivisible rallies, where taxpayers are helping to organize the things the president does when he goes out in the country. These rallies are fairly ad hoc, and maybe I'm not a good enough reporter to see the strings behind everybody, but I've spent a lot of time before and after events. After an event in Iowa Falls.
So what he's saying is, I don't see these people being paid to do this. I don't see the strings. I don't see a Koch brother connection to these people. And by the way, Dave Weigel, not a lefty, not a progressive. This isn't him bullshitting anybody. And so, yeah, he's saying, maybe it's there. If it's there, I don't see it. That's what he's saying. These are ad hoc. So they have ad hoc committees. These are just ad hoc groups being formed to do this. So here we go.
Today went to the same cafe by accident as about 15 women who had just been there. Two of them knew each other. The rest of them just kind of said, oh, you were at this too. And they exchanged names. They made plans. It's very organic. It's very easy for people to follow up.
So what he's saying is that whereas in 2009 Tea Party, it all came from Freedom Works, and they would train people, and they had all these right-wing funded think tank places going out there and getting these people to go to town halls. He's saying that's not how this is happening. He's saying this is happening by interested people coming together. Like he said, I was at a restaurant, a diner afterwards, and these 7 women came in, and 2 of them knew each other, and the rest of them got to know each other. They exchanged numbers, and now they're together. Now they're going to go to the next thing together.
And they asked, did you get your check in the mail? And
yeah. Hey, did you get your Koch brothers check for protesting? So let's hear what else he has to say.
More so than 2009. I spent a lot of time in 2009, before and after town halls, again, watching people get trained by Americans Prosperity or Freedom Works or the groups that were trying to organize them top down from D.C. There's something similar this time, but it's much more distributed, much less controlled from one central location. So
maybe because it's justified outrage.
Right, as opposed to before, people were upset at Barack Obama. Why? Because he's Barack Obama. Right? So people are outraged, like, you're going to take my health care away? Why are you going to take my health care away? That's what people are like, whoa. Not only should you not take it away, we should have better health care. Now we're going to go backwards. So let's see what else he has to say.
Actually more organic, or at least more bottom up in terms of the way it's being organized than what you saw back in 2009.
Yeah, and that doesn't contradict what Republicans...
So there you go. So yeah, it's more bottom up. So this is more grassroots. These are real protests, right? So these aren't being funded by think tanks. These are people who are, they're being funded by people's fear of going bankrupt and not being able to get health care.
Maybe if the corporate media wasn't so good at marginalizing protests since the 60s, Chris
Yeah.
Hayes wouldn't need to ask all these questions. He would know what it was.
Yeah, I mean, MSNBC is one of the better ones at marginalizing protests. You would never know that there was an Iraq war protest going on if you watched MSNBC. How did they cover the Occupy people? Well, for the first 2 weeks, nobody even noticed it. So, yeah, you're right about that, Ron. It's another good... So, thanks to Dave Weigel for doing that reporting, for getting out there and seeing stuff that's happening and reporting it back that this is the organic protest. So all that stuff about, how much you getting paid, and first of all, even if it was, these are liberal people liberal organizations getting together to protest. That's what you're supposed to do. This is being organized by the ACLU. Yeah, that's what it's okay. This is being organized by you. Yeah, it's, again, that's what you do in America. People come together. That's called a government. Let's see what else he says.
Saying as they get angry that these people are showing up, it's just hypocritical because they were correctly annoyed when Democrats tried to say by dint of you organizing before this you were doing something wrong. I will give Jim Jordan credit. I'll give Chuck Grassley credit. I asked Jim Jordan and other reporters asked Chuck Grassley today.
Those are two Republican Congress people, Chuck Grassley and Jim Jordan, and so he asked them today.
Are these protests legitimate? And they both said yes, they're legitimate. It would barely matter if they weren't because these people have a right to answer questions. I've noticed in the crowds when you talk to the conservatives showing up, and they're outnumbered, but they're supporting their Republican members of Congress. They're very worried and paranoid that there is something nefarious going on. In Iowa, it's kind of fun to watch because.
So he's saying the conservatives who show up and they see all these progressives out, or just regular people out who are upset at their leadership, their elected representatives. So when the conservatives are there and they see they're outnumbered, they start to think conspiracy, like, oh my God, they are being funded by some billionaires, and this is all organized against us. This is something nefarious. These are people from out of state. These aren't people from mine. That's the whole thing. These are being funded. They're busing them in. These aren't local. These are outside agitators. All that shit. That's what all that shit is. And so watch how he debunks that right there, because he was at some of these places in Iowa, and
Iowans have license plates that tell you what county they're from. And in Iowa Falls this morning, they're conservatives assuring me that everyone at this thing can driven up an hour and a half from Des Moines. You can see on their license plates they did.
So he's saying all the conservatives at this thing an hour and a half north of Des Moines said, all these people drove up from Des Moines. They're all liberals from Des Moines. They're not regular Iowans. And Dave says all you have to do is look at their license plate, because in Iowa, they're separated by county, so you can tell what county a person lives in. And you look at the license plate; they're all local. Sorry,
it's got to be a little telling, by the way. They're from that progressive utopia known as Des Moines. That radical place. It's actually a cool town.
Not asking for what church they went to, etc. No, they were not that engaged with this. I've met, I'd say, only one or two people out of dozens of conversations who had ever been to one of these town halls before this year.
So there you go. Dave Weigel doing some great reporting and letting you know what's going on out there is organic and real, and it's not astroturfed. And so all the people saying that this isn't real or somehow whatever, Dave Weigel just told you that's what he said. That's not me. That's Dave. You saw him giving you a finger, right? I saw it.
I just love the substance of some of these questions, though. I feel like if Chris Hayes came to like one of the live shows, they'd be like, so, does everyone here like the Jimmy Dore show? Or is that what's going? Yeah, that's how that works. They like the show, so they buy tickets, and then they sit and respond accordingly with laughter.
I think what Chris Hayes was doing there was he doesn't want to say anything that might lose him a viewer or whatever, or seem controversial, so he's letting Dave Weigel say it. So he knows the answers to all this stuff, and he goes, "No, Dave, now tell me about this. Is this, and that?" And Dave was, "Okay, Dave will say it." I think that's what's happening there, but maybe not. Who cares? Either way, we don't like him. Hey, the next live Jimmy Dore show is March 4th. That's a Saturday. Get your tickets right below. The next one after that is March 20th. The shows sell out really fast, so get your tickets right now. Links right there.